This is Rat Pack Radio, the internet radio station that brings you everything from the top hits in music.
Hey guys, this is Bruno Mars.
Hey, it's Ole. Come on, put your pinky rings up to the moon.
To Sports Talk Radio.
With the first pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Jared Goff, quarterback, California.
We are here for you, WRPR Rat Pack Radio. Come join the pack.
You're listening to WRPR Rat Pack Radio. Come join the pack. You're listening to Rat Pack Sports Show on WRPR Rat Pack Radio.
Blue, you're my boy! A genius. A man who has a reputation to be the best at what he does.
You see, a man has to realize his limitations. You don't know me, and you don't know what I'm capable of.
That was a heck of an effort.
This house is a prison, and the galaxy of this sucks.
You free enough.
This battle is over when I say it is over. I will massacre you.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Are you not entertained?
I'd say in a given week, I probably only do about 15 minutes of real, actual work.
That's how I roll.
Offensive!
Hello? You play to win the game.
There's a drive! Way back! It could be! Yeah!
This is my favorite part coming up right now.
Watch your tongue or have it cut from your head.
All right. Rat Pack Sports Show. We are back. We are live. Rat Pack Radio, WRPR, streaming online, ratpacksports.com, and also the Rat Pack Radio WRPR app. We are here on another Wednesday night, bringing you the best of the sports talking and entertainment. And as we always do, man, we're going to have a great show. A lot of Phillies going to get hurt tonight. Got some football to talk about. So we'll be live on Bucks Life at around about 9:30, and once we go live there, hey, it is no holds bars. I've been a little quiet on in the group since the game was over with, because I didn't want to hear all the angry football analysts, so to speak. So, throughout the whole season, you have to listen to, certain people within these groups talk like they just know everything about the game, and they don't even make sense half the time on what they're saying, and they don't even understand something as simple as a gap protection in the defense. So you can't really take them dudes, them people serious, because the fundamental foundation of how the game is played is not even understood. And I'm going to say 75-80% of fans that I see in these groups are, saying, "Oh, it's Brady fault. It's Brady washed up. He can't throw the ball anymore. All this and that." But not one time, and I've read, hundreds of different posts, and out of those posts, one person that I know, me and him talk football on a regular occasion, so I knew he would understand the reason behind the quarterback struggles. And only one person brought up the legitimate reason of why not just Brady, but any quarterback would struggle in an offense. And you ever seen that movie called Blind Side? Or to hear the saying in football, we must protect the quarterback's blind side. Why? Because it is his blind side. If he's a right-handed quarterback, his blind side is the left side. If he's a left-handed quarterback, his blind side is the right side. But we happen to have a right-handed quarterback, and his blind side is on the left side. Well, which side of the Buccaneers offensive line is the worst offensive line probably in the history of Buccaneer football? The left side. So at the end of the day, it ain't getting, the left side ain't getting it done. And that's just that. They're not getting it done. They haven't been getting it done, all season long. I got some. They haven't been getting it done all season long. And what do you expect? You get to the 18th game of the season, and your offensive line still not protecting the quarterback. What? And y'all mad at Brady? Y'all mad at Brady for Let's bring him on in. We got him on the line with us now, so we're gonna just bring him right on in. Rat Pack Sports Show is a very own contributor to the show, co-host, Mr. William Graves. What's going on, brother?
What is going on, Debo?
Nothing much, man. Just I'm not really going in yet because I want to talk about the other games.
Okay.
First, before we get into, the main topic, which we will once we go, we go live on Bucks Life, and we, I get a link sent all out. I want everybody to be involved. I'm just lightly, digging the trench of the real reason behind Brady's struggles, and anybody with some common sense can say, yeah, Brady didn't have the best of seasons, but you compare his numbers, he's still a top 10 quarterback in this league, and you can win with that guy. You can still win with that guy. But as I was saying before you called in, if you can't protect the quarterback's blind side, you have no chance. And if you cannot run the ball, listen. The Buccaneers franchise history, the historical, numbers for the Buccaneers from a franchise standpoint, it ain't that good, right? We've been through the struggle. We've been at the bottom. We've been the laughing stock of the league. We've been, the paper bags over the face. We've been there. But in the history of the Buccaneers franchise, there's a few things we've always been able to do. Number one, we've always been able to play defense. No matter how bad our offense is, no matter how bad our record is overall, defensively, we've always been, able to get after the quarterback. We've always been able to play somewhat respectable defense. Okay. Another thing we've always been able to do, because we never really had a potent passing game until recent memory. We've always been able to run the football. Whether it's James Wilder, whether it's Eric Rett, whether it's Mike Allstott, Ward Dunn, Michael Pittman.
Keep on going, because they're all there. You're forgetting one way back there, Ricky Bell.
Yeah, Ricky Bell.
Oh,
you know.
Okay.
Back by committee. Back in the early mid 2000s, we had a back by committee type deal going on. We've always been able to run the ball. Ernest Graham. I mean, if you're a Buccaneer fan, Cadillac Williams. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We've always been able to run the football. That's my point. LeGarrette Blount. You know what I'm saying? Recent memory. Under Raheem Morris. We've always been able to run the football.
Yep.
So,
well, here's the thing. Even the year that we won the Super Bowl, we were able to run the ball.
Yeah, Michael Pittman, pound the rock. Pound the rock.
Okay.
That was the slogan.
Right. Okay, but not only that Super Bowl, but go back to the very most recent Super Bowl that we won. Leonard Fournette was able to run.
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette had what everybody called a resurgence year.
Yeah, that's what they say. He had a playoff resurgence, but overall, I mean, he did well, but I don't think he was this major, player like people were trying to make him out to be. I mean, we could get better from from Leonard Fournette.
Yes, we could get better. We still could get better and everything, because what always seemed to work for us is when we had two backs.
Yeah.
That we could interchange out.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, 90% of the time, during those glory years,
we had a two-back system.
We did.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Allstott and we had Dunn. Okay. Now, yes. Now both of them were on the field at the same time, but 90% of the time, one running play was designed for one, then one running play was designed for the other.
Yeah.
Mike Allstott was that short yardage guy. Everybody knew that. The A train.
Yep.
Could plow right through that line. But now we're talking about the backs. But there's another key to that, and that's the offensive line.
You gotta have an offense. Exactly.
If you don't have an offensive line, you cannot run the ball. If you do not have an offensive line,
100%,
you cannot pass the ball. Okay. Now I am going to say something right now, and then I'm going to drop it, and I'll go in further deep when we go live. Brady is not the right quarterback for the Buccaneers right now.
No, because the offensive line is trash. They can't protect the quarterback. So if you can't protect the quarterback, you can't have a quarterback like Tom Brady that can't get away from the rush. And again, there's been an argument that a lot of people, has been making. And I agree that it helps to have a quarterback that can move around and elude the rush. Now, he's always been good in the pocket. People want a quarterback that can take off and run. I don't want that dude, because more than likely that guy is not an accurate passer. That guy thinks run before going through his progressions. So
right
now you eliminate the threat of passing the football, because you've picked up a guy that is running. We see what Chicago Bears has done, with their quarterback position. They drafted that guy at the top of the draft, first round, and he's supposed to be in the future. But here's the problem. He cannot read a defense. And he relies on his legs. When he gets in trouble, he tucks and runs. He relies on his legs, and that doesn't work.
Okay, so here's the thing about Justin Fields. And it's something that is a problem that I have actually praised Josh Dobbs for being able to do.
He needs to sit back and learn.
Yes. Okay, but look at the body style of Justin Fields. Look at the body style of Josh Dobbs. What quarterback do those body styles what do they kind of remind you of? Who do they kind of remind you of? Not to the T, but kind of.
Well, Dobbs.
The guy just retired. The guy just retired. He just retired.
Man, I don't know, bro. Just retired?
Cam Newton.
Oh, you mean Dobbs? Because Fields is a lot smaller than Cam Newton.
Yes, but he has the same body type.
Okay, and Dobbs, he's shown some ability to throw the ball.
Josh Dobbs is the closest thing to Cam Newton, and this is where I'm going with this. Yes, Cam Newton, even back when he was playing college football, got to see him at Auburn. Okay, yes, he could take off and run, but one of the things that you always saw him do is you saw him go through his progressions. That is what made him one of the top quarterbacks. Not saying the top, but one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah,
is that he could do that. Okay, he could kill you both ways. Shoot, Derek, we sat there and watched it time and time again when Carolina played Tampa Bay. He killed us. He had our number every single time.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh Dobbs is very similar to that. Justin Fields wants to be like that, but he doesn't go through the progressions. He does not go through the progressions. And you know what? I'm sorry, but this is the part where who do you blame for this? Do you blame the coaching? Do you blame him?
You got to blame a little bit of both. I mean, you also understand, when you make the draft pick, who you drafted, what you drafted. So when you make that draft pick, whatever the construct of your team is at that moment, if it does not fit the player you drafted, you made a bad decision.
Okay.
At the end of the day, you made a bad decision. Because the problem is you don't
100%.
have, in today's league, you do not have time to mold a guy around what you have. You have to bring that guy in and bring his system that he's familiar with him. And then you have to take, everybody else on the team, and you have to turn them into that system to get the best out of your quarterback. That's what good coaches do. That's what great offensive minds do, is they build around their quarterback. They build for success. Too many times they draft a guy and then they get him into the league and they try to change what he was, what got him there. You've already made a mistake.
Okay.
You've already made a mistake.
Okay, and you know what? In case in point with that, it's not only on the offensive side of the ball. It's on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm going to give you the prime candidate for that right now, and that is Devin White.
Yeah, I will agree with you on that. We've had this Conversation. We've all watched Devin White, the last 4 years now play for the Buccaneers. We watched him play at LSU in college, and what he's doing now is not what he was, doing in college. But here is my my thing with Devin White. What I see, no system cannot change this. He is too small, and he does not know how to get off of blocks. Once the lineman get his hands on him, he's done.
Absolutely.
He gets carried
here's
downfield.
The thing, man. He should not be a middle linebacker. If he's going to be a linebacker at all, he needs to be an outside linebacker.
Yeah, you want to be able to use his speed and space, and
exactly.
Now to say that, okay, I'll go the same way with Levante David. Levante David played will linebacker, weak side linebacker, Derek Brooks position. That's what he's been since the day he's coming to the league, right? This is the sign of a great player. Late in his career, he goes and plays inside linebacker in the 3-4 defense when he's played for predominantly 4-3 his whole career, and he outperforms the guy that was drafted to play middle linebacker, and he's outperformed every other linebacker in the league to the point of, based on, and I know a lot of people don't take, Pro Football Focus, they still haven't caught up with the analytics side of sports, but Pro Football Focus has Levante David ranked 4th in the NFL. I don't know if it's out of middle linebackers or all linebackers, but he is ranked 4th in the whole league.
Okay.
Playing out of position.
But Derek, you also just said it too. Him being able to do that, Derek, that is what separates the good players from the great players.
Yes, but here's the funny thing.
I'm sorry, I switched that around. That's what separates the great
players from the Hall of Fame players or the great players, whatever. But here's the thing. Right. If you paid attention to the sports media, when they talk about Buccaneers defense, who's the guy they're always bringing up? Devin White.
Levante David.
Nah, more often than not, when they talk about the Bucs defense, I hear all these commentators, they mention Devin White, leader of the defense. Devin White, best player on the defense, one of the top players in the league. No, I'm just telling you what they're saying. I don't believe that. I'm just telling you what they're saying.
We must be listening to different sports media, because the guys that I look at or whatever, yeah, they mention Devin White, but to me, I don't think me personally, I don't look at Devin White as the leader of that defense. Sorry. Levante David is the leader of that defense. Even when JPP was there, even when Ndamukong Suh was there.
Yeah.
Levante David was that general on the field. And here is something to think about. He's a free agent this year.
Yeah. You better figure out a way to sign him.
He better be 10. Him and did they give Chris Godwin a long-term deal last year?
No. Chris Godwin need to be
your top priorities this offseason.
Yeah, Chris Godwin was playing
as far as re-signings go.
A franchise. He was playing on the franchise tag.
You got two of your most valuable players free agents. You all better figure that crap out quick. Like yeah. But anyways, we but anyways, getting back to what we were originally talking about, Justin Fields in Chicago. Okay, to me, in a roundabout way, I almost feel like the Bears let him down.
They did in a way because they've had him a few years now, and they still haven't got the help around him that he needs. His offensive line is not that good. Again, doesn't really have a true number one receiver. Running back position is
What running back position?
Well, I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Bro, they have what, maybe one or two okay receivers on that offense. Bro, they don't even have a running back.
Well, they kind of did the by committee situation at the running back position, and but
in order to say running back by committee, they have to actually be able to run.
Well, most of the since Justin Fields showed up, most of the rushing numbers come from Justin Fields just tucking it and running. That's what it's been. Since
maybe they need to move Justin Fields to the running back position.
Hey, I don't have a problem with that. They move him to the running back position. That's what he's doing right now.
They sure as hell haven't done anything with him at quarterback.
You're right about that. You are 100% right about that.
Well,
just a running back with a football at this point.
Pretty much.
But at the end of the day, we kind of jumped around a little bit, but for the quarterback position, a lot has to go right. For that guy to succeed, whether it's Brady, Justin Fields, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, we can go down the list. The offensive line is important. And when you ignore key positions on the offensive line, then you suffer. You suffer. Your offense as a whole suffers. And at the end of the day, you cannot throw the ball downfield with less than 3 seconds to throw the ball. Those plays take time. You need 4 seconds, the 5 to 7 step drops to get the ball downfield. If you don't have the 5 to the 7 step drops to drive the ball downfield, you're not driving the ball downfield. It's just not happening.
Right.
And we tried. There's been times where we had chances. We didn't connect on those. And a lot of that has to do with pressure. Pressure that's generated from the pass rush. And at the end of the day, as a quarterback, when you've been faced with pressure all season long, in your face, guess what? Guess what's gonna happen? And I don't care who it is. You're gonna get cold. You're gonna get happy feet at times when you don't necessarily see things, or you may what they say, like you're seeing ghost. The pass rush ain't there, but it kind of feel like it is because so many times you thought you had time, and as soon as you get ready to throw the ball, you get sacked. All of that happens. But
right.
At the end of the day, Brady, for all the pressure he faced, you find me another quarterback that's available. I don't want the wishful thinking fantasy football quarterback. What quarterback that's available that you actually have a shot at is going to perform at the level Brady did under all this pressure. You're not going to find that guy. And for the fans that think we're just going to go out in the offseason and find that dude, man, you don't understand football. You don't know football. You're not going to find a quarterback on the free market that's going to bring the experience, the football IQ, the ability to be down and out in games you're not even supposed to be in, come back and win in the last quarter or the last 3 minutes. You know, when the game is on the line, be able to put a drive together, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, and you get it. We've seen, and I have been screaming this all season. Why don't we use tempo a lot more? It slows down the pass rush. Why? Because the defense don't have time to rotate. It's simple. Anytime we was in tempo and we was dictating the pace, offense went up and downfield. Up and downfield. And then you get the smart football ball, you can't do that the whole game. Well, I know you can't do it the whole game, but can you pick your spots throughout the game where you want to go fast tempo? Yes, you can do that. But we never did it. We never did it. And that's the only time the offense line looked like they was decent is when we was going fast pace because the defense gets tired. The pass rush slows down. They get tired. So,
well, the thing is that this is where you've got to really look at exactly who's calling the plays. Is it Brady? Was it Byron Leftwich? Because if they're letting Brady go out there and do his thing, then all right, Brady, why ain't you running this up tempo? If Byron Leftwich was taking the reins and he wanted to prove himself and all this stuff and everything like that, and this is the result, well, Byron, what's the deal? Because it sure wasn't like this the last 2 years.
No.
So which leads me to believe that Bruce Arians was running that offense, because this offense this year was not the same offense that we've seen for the last 2 years. And what changed
Agreed.
this year?
Yeah.
Bruce Arians went to the front office.
Listen, I know, I know for a fact that you got a new offensive coordinator that's never had a standalone, that's never ran a standalone offense by himself. Never done it.
And now we can see why.
And we also know that when Bruce Arians came into town, he put some things in place. And those things he put in place was for Brian Leftwich to be groomed to take over as offensive coordinator, and also for Todd Bowles, when he was ready to step down to take over as the head coach of this team. All of that stuff was already set into motion. So I don't know
what happened.
I don't know how people are shocked or surprised that this Bruce Arians did this. You wasn't paying attention.
No, they weren't.
You weren't paying attention, and because you weren't paying attention, you got bamboozled when you should have known that eventually this was gonna happen. So now the whole excuse now is everybody want to blame Todd Bowles. But your GM, your owners allowed, and people say, oh, well, Bruce Arians, him and Tom Brady had beef, and Bruce Arians stepped down because Tom Brady, blah, 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 blah. Listen, you're the head coach. And if you got that type of respect in your locker room, and you got that type of respect from your starting quarterback, there ain't no reason for you to step down because your quarterback, who's happened to be one of the best to ever play the game, has an indifference of what he want to do on the offense opposed to what you want to do on the offense. So I don't care that they have an indifference. Your job as a head coach is to get on the same page. So if you can't take that and you want to retire, step down and retire because of that, I don't want you as my coach anyway. And there's some things under Bruce Arians that I didn't like anyway. People want to say the team was undisciplined. We was more undisciplined under Bruce Arians than we were under Todd Bowles, as far as the dead ball, personal foul, the dumb penalties, the after the play type of penalties. We got more of those under Bruce Arians than we did under Todd Bowles. I used to sit here on the show every week and say, man, this team is undisciplined. We get some of the dumbest dead ball penalties that you could possibly have. So, to me, he wasn't never out the woods, and I didn't ever look at him as no type of, guru or anything like that, because until he got under Brady, he had never won a Super Bowl as a head coach. He played in one. He never won
When did he play in one?
With the no, actually he didn't. I'm thinking about the Cardinals when they had Ken Whisenhunt. So he wasn't even on that. So no, he never played in one.
No, not as a head coach.
As a head coach. As an assistant, yes. He was under Big Ben. And then people say, well, he's a quarterback whisperer. Who did he develop? Because he had Andrew Luck. Everybody knew Luck was going to be that dude. Ben Roethlisberger, I give him a little credit for Big Ben because Big Ben coming out of a mid-major school, nobody knew that Big Ben would turn out to be that dude. So I give him some credit for that. I'm not giving him credit for Kurt Warner. Not Kurt Warner, but Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer was a beast in Cincinnati.
Yeah, no. Carson Palmer was already, quote unquote, a Hall of Fame quarterback before he even went to Arizona. No. Now, another quarterback he did work. I do believe he worked with, and he did help. He did help out some. Was Peyton Manning?
Yeah, I'm not even giving the credit for Manning.
If I'm not mistaken, he was with the Colts 2 different times.
Yeah, but Manning was a number 1 draft pick What Manning did is what everybody expected. Everybody expected Manning to be great because that's all he showed when he was in Tennessee was greatness.
Right.
So,
But
okay.
the thing is,
sometimes players make coaches.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying
Okay,
that Bruce Arians
I
not.
see where you're going with
I'm
that.
not saying that Bruce Arians is not a good coach, but what I'm saying, maybe we gave him too much credit.
I think
he was respected.
I think we put. Well, so this is the way that I see it. I think that we put too much emphasis on what he did in the past versus what he was doing for us currently. Because I know that I did. I was,
he's supposed to be in the whisper when he came in. He was supposed to change Jameis. He was supposed to turn Jameis Winston into a top 5 quarterback. Listen.
Okay. Here's the thing with that, and this is going to tick a lot of people off. And you all can disagree with me if you want. That's fine. Bruce Arians had no intentions on keeping Jameis Winston. None whatsoever.
I think Jameis was playing on borrowed time. And if Jameis Winston would have played well enough, he would have forced the Bucs to have to sign him to another contract. Had he played well enough, he would have forced the Bucs' hand and forced them to keep him, because you're not gonna release a dude that you drafted to be your franchise quarterback if you put together a season that puts you at the top of the league in the important categories. At that point, the Bucs would have felt obligated to keep him. But he didn't do that. It was same old with the interceptions, the turnovers, the lack of making the decision making process just doing way too much, bro. Just you know how I feel about Jameis. I'm never gonna hold back because I'm just not gonna do that. But at the end of the day, a move had to be made, and that move had to be them not bringing Jameis back, which we're grateful for, because by them doing that, it led us to signing Tom Brady and us actually getting our, Super Bowl. So all the Winston mob, they can still be mad that we decided to go in another direction, and some of them saying, well, if we would have supported Jameis the same way we supported Brady, Jameis could have brought us a Super Bowl. Well, let's go here with this. Let's go here with this. Jameis Winston ain't calling Rob Gronkowski. He's not calling Leonard Fournette, to come here. Guys are not crawling to come to the franchise and play for Jameis Winston. That's why we was able to do what we did, because everybody want to play with Brady
now,
because they know with Brady as your quarterback, you're in the race every season. You're in the conversation.
Okay. Now, I will say this, that had Jameis Winston, had he had a better team around him, he probably would have been better.
Yes, but
and
again,
I'm not talking about the receivers, because let's face it. Okay, yes, Leonard Fournette is not the greatest in the world, but he was certainly better than he was certainly better in the running game than what was there before. Before Leonard Fournette got there, who was our running back?
Shoot, man, I don't remember.
Thank you.
Hold on, before Fournette, let me think. Before Fournette, who's our
bro? You're proving my point.
Hold on, man. Let me think about this. 2019, 2020 season. Jameis Winston was the quarterback. Do you remember?
Nope.
Cause I can't.
My point exactly.
I don't remember, bro.
My point exactly.
So yeah, point made.
Okay. Besides, let me ask you this: before Rob Gronkowski got there,
O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate, I know that. I know that.
But can we just say that the only tight end in there that made even a little bit of an impact was Cameron Brate? Because O.J. Howard stayed.
Yeah, O.J. Howard stayed injured. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. Now, look at the offensive line. Curiosity question: before Ryan Jensen got there, who was our starting center?
Starting center. Hold on. Ryan Jensen been here a while, so.
Ryan Jensen's been here for,
I think 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
4 years. 4 years.
Hold on.
He came. No, he's only been here 3 years.
No, he was here. Jensen was here. Jameis. I think Jameis last season.
Jensen came here Brady's first season, I think.
No, I think he was here on the.
Okay.
I'm gonna look real quick. But I think he was here.
Oh well, no, I could be wrong.
Arians' first season, which was under Jameis. I think he was here. So I'm gonna look at it real quick. All right, so let's see what we got here. Why isn't it? Come on, man. Search. All right, so Jensen came here. He was drafted in 2013 by Baltimore, and I thought we made a trade to bring in Ryan Jensen, if I'm not mistaken. I think. Let me see. I'm sure we did, but let's see, Jensen. Let's do Pro Football Reference. Actually, he came in 2018. I knew it was a while. I knew he'd been here longer than he played for Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said okay. I stand corrected.
Yeah,
okay,
so that's 5 years. 7.
Okay,
18,
so
19, yeah.
Jameis had Jensen.
He had Jensen for
2 years.
3 seasons. 2017, 18, and 19. He had Jensen for 3 seasons.
Okay. Now, so with that being said, besides Jensen, who else was on our offensive line at that time?
I should know this. 2018, well, Donovan Smith, Ali Marpet, who was the right tackle?
Alex Kappa.
Was it Alex Kappa?
Because Kappa and Marpet came out the same year. Okay, so you have three guys on that offensive line. The rest of that offensive line was non-existent. But and this is going to what I'm saying, that they failed to bring in, or they failed to put an offensive line in place. The same thing happened this year when the exodus of offensive linemen left or got injured or retired. Okay, we didn't have we had I would say we had a fair offensive line for Jameis Winston, but it was nothing like what was brought in.
No, I'm going to say this.
So
I think with Jameis as our quarterback, our offensive line was done an injustice because of how long Jameis Winston held on to the ball. So a lot of them sacks he took wasn't on the fact that the offensive line wasn't giving them protection. It was him holding the ball on too long, trying to make plays when they weren't there. You only can block for so long. So if you get 3 seconds in the pocket to pass the ball, you should be able to get that ball out. And how many times did Jameis, pat, and he's staring downfield, and then the pressure comes. He rarely checked down. He rarely uses check downs. That was one of the biggest issues I had with Jameis was you would have routes, and you would have check downs, and you wouldn't use them. So, a lot of that was on him. We got a call here, so I'm gonna take this call. I'm not recognizing this number, so. You're in with the Rat Pack. Who we got on the line?
Todd Walkingstick from Minnesota Vikings.
Todd
Vikings.
What's going on, man?
Walkingstick. Nothing. Yeah, I got tagged on a Facebook post. I thought I'd give you a call and talk about the Vikings that are no longer this season.
All right, man. Hey, we can talk some Vikings, man. What you think about the season, man? I know it was.
Well, I'm a 25-year season ticket holder.
Oh.
I've only missed 4 games. I've only missed 4 games in 25 years.
Jeez.
This year was the craziest year I've ever seen, with 13, obviously everybody knows 13-4, and we're the number 31 or 32 worst ranked defense, and it showed Sunday against the Giants.
So you're diehard. To say the least, this man is a diehard. What he just gave us his resume.
I got pictures of 450 different Viking players through the years.
Whew, man.
So I go to training camp. I go to training camp every year, and just make the most of it.
So, as a Vikings fan, throughout the season, we see the Vikings kind of on the up and down. Well, not really up and down, but I mean they were winning games, but the way they was winning the games wasn't that of a team that really, showed dominance, so to speak, for a 13-win team. You would think,
right?
In the 13 wins, the way they won those games. What was the hope of the Vikings fans going into the playoffs?
I mean, I'm going to speak for myself. I mean, I think the majority, but with all the craziness that happened, what if we got a hot streak in the playoffs? Now, the percent is not very good because our defense was so bad, but what if? You have to go with the what if. I mean, look at the Buffalo Bills game. What on earth, the quarterback fumbling in the end zone, what's the chance of that happening? Slim to zero, and it happened. It happened. So the Giants game, we were there Sunday, and the Vikings go down and score in the first drive. U.S. Bank was going ballistic. I mean, it was so loud you couldn't hear yourself think. They're screaming. I'm standing. The whole stadium's standing, and the Giants go down like nothing, like there was no fans. They made it look so easy. Kind of took the wind out of the sails in that one.
Yeah. I mean, we watch, obviously, being here in Florida, we don't get a chance to watch a whole lot of Giants games because the Giants, obviously, they're not a team that people are looking at as, a big ratings catcher. So watching that game and seeing that Giants team in that atmosphere, because, listen, we knew what the Vikings atmosphere was when they played in the Dome, the old Metrodome.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure in the new stadium, the atmosphere is the same. It's the same people. So looking at that.
Yeah, it's very loud.
Yeah, looking at that Giants team, seeing them in person, what did they surprise you guys at how, good of a team they actually were? Did you guys believe going into this game that the Giants would give y'all the problems they gave y'all? Or, I mean, what was the idea of going into this game facing the Giants? Was it a game that y'all was confident about, or was you a little scared about it?
I think both. There was a Giants offensive lineman that came out in public and said he thought the last time we played on Christmas Eve Day, that whiteout at stadium, that it wasn't even loud. It was so. Guess what? The fans were asked to be as loud as they could because the Giants were saying it was not very loud in there, and it was, I think, the loudest since the Minneapolis Miracle that night that the Vikings beat the Saints.
Yep, I remember that.
That was the loudest I've ever heard. My ears hurt for about a week. So that stadium was not that loud, but it was pretty close to that game, Minneapolis Miracle. But I thought the fans did an outstanding job of trying to give all the, the support to make the Giants. But the Giants not one false start. They made no mistakes. They took advantage of our defense. I mean, that's what a team should do. I mean, I'm sure they went home back to New York laughing how easy it was because there's 431 yards total offense against us. Absolutely. I saw guys on the Vikings that just seemed like they were out of place. Our defense was unorganized. It was just, I thought their Giants defense is bad too. The Eagles will destroy them. But I thought it's going to be like a high-scoring game because both defenses are terrible. But the Giants, they made the better of the plays. So you give them credit. I hate to say that because I'm a fan of the Vikings, but our defense just didn't show up Sunday, and I left kind of disheartened, but kind of not surprised either. I mean, our defense was 7 yards off the line of scrimmage. If you look at the field, there was always at least 7 yards for those receivers to come through. And you can't cover from behind because you're going to get beat.
Yeah.
Playing that prevent defense type, I mean, they call it umbrella defense. You're going to get beat badly, and we got beat badly. I mean, the first touchdown was a slant, easy touchdown. Saquon Barkley, the second touchdown, left side, gouge us, and no, we didn't touch him.
Yep.
So all their touchdowns are pretty easy. And as a fan, I got to be honest. I mean, I came in pumped. I thought for sure we're going to win. And, the 49ers would be the next opponent. I didn't feel too good about that, but I thought we could at least get one win. it's a brand new coach. Nobody expected us to do that well. 13-4 again. Who knows? Could we get lucky in the playoffs? We had to really get lucky, but we got to. Next year will be tough. We got to rebuild again because there's 4 draft picks next year. We normally have 12 to 13, and we're 19 million over the salary cap.
Ooh.
So there'll be some major changes coming Minnesota way. Yeah, they're talking Harrison Smith, Dalvin Cook, Thielen, Desarius Smith, potential Daniil Hunter, maybe all casualty.
Dang.
Casual. Yeah, I mean, the Vikings got to work their magic with money, but right now we've had at least 10, 11 picks every year since I can remember, and this year it's 4. It's 1 first round, and I think it's like the 3rd or 4th round. So they're going to have to trade some guys to get picks. The Detroit Lions are the team that scare me in our division. They're going the right way.
Yeah. Detroit is
Yep.
Early before the season ended, we was talking about the Lions, and I was like, if the Lions, they mess around and get into the playoff, that's a team that you don't want to play because they seem to put it all together. And when that offense, for everything that everybody had to say about Jared Goff just a few years ago, that offense is prolific. Just they got weapons everywhere. They throw the ball all over the place. Very efficient. They can score points with anybody, and that defense got nasty real quick. And
Aiden Hutchinson was the man.
Yeah,
what a man that kid is.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast, and that head coach. I always liked him from the day he got there because being a former player, sometimes you say the coaches are too emotional, but this man is not that far away removed from playing the game. So, those players can relate to him a lot, but a lot more in the locker room, and the way he coaches is more relatable to the way football is played today, and I was just hoping that the Detroit Lions stay with him and not gave up on him so quick like they have in the past with coaches, and it paid off big time, man. So.
I know.
I
they played us earlier this year. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I think going into next season, that's probably going to be the team that everybody's going to be picking in that division.
For sure, again, I'm a huge Viking fan, but you got to look at what's coming up. And Lions, their coach he's the real deal. You want to play for a guy who's he's just a one of you. But he's a leader.
Yep.
He's got to step up. I mean, they played us earlier this year at US Bank Stadium, and they probably should have beat us, but I don't know if you remember that game, but they went, I think, 5 or 6 times on 4th down and made every one.
Yep.
And then the last 4th down, they decided to kick a field goal and missed it. And then we went down and scored a touchdown to win it.
Yep.
So we got lucky there. But, all year was just bizarre things for the Vikings. And normally we don't get that kind of luck. The double doink.
Yeah.
Saints game in London, double doink. Like, what the heck? I don't know. It was just, as a fan, I just loved every week because you didn't know what the heck you're watching. All of a sudden, 30-0. I was at the Colts game. The Colts game was 30-0, and the fans booed.
Yeah, that game was crazy.
Team off the field, and then they come back and win it. Biggest comeback in history.
Yep, that game there was crazy because I was I forget what I was doing. I think I was busy and I didn't get a chance to see the whole game. But when I saw the score, I'm like, oh, this thing is over. There's no way. There's no way they're coming back. And then a quarter later, I get a call and it was like, dude, did you see the Vikings game? I'm like, what you talking about, bro? The Vikings was losing by 30. There's no way they won that game. It was like, yeah, they won. I was like, what? How? How do you come back in that short of time down that many points?
I look at the Dallas game when they played the Colts, and Dallas scored, I think, 33 in the 4th quarter on them.
Yeah.
If you remember that. If we scored 2 touchdowns, I kind of thought we might have a chance. But again, I mean, the 30 points down, that's just shouldn't be achievable, but it was. Justin Jefferson, unbelievable year. We had no running game this year, very little running game. Cook had no holes. So between no running game and no defense and still winning 13 games, it's just a bizarre world that you can't make up.
No, definitely. Weird season for the Vikings. I mean, they was reading off like some numbers, like I guess the plus minus of the team, and no team had ever won 13 games with. I forget the exact number it was, but they was basically minus on the season. I know
-5, I think it was.
Yeah, so I was like
-5.
Yeah.
Here's another stat for you. Maybe you know this. Sunday against the Giants, the Vikings are the first team in Super Bowl era history. It was 47-0 until the Vikings' first time to ever have a quarterback throw 80% completion, no turnovers, and we weren't sacked and we lost.
Bizarre.
First time in NFL Super Bowl era that a team has lost with those kind of stats.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
So I do have to ask you, and what is your honest opinion of Kirk Cousins?
I like him a lot. I know I'm in probably the minority. People are going to base it off the last game, but I know the thing on his shoulders, he can't win the big game. I know his accuracy is crazy good, but yet, he throws ungodly amount of yards, but like the 4th and 8th, the last play of the game, he throws 3 yards. That's where he gets hammered. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm for him. But I don't know what else chance we have right now.
So you being for him, that crazy contract that he got.
Yeah,
were
that's
you
too much
okay?
money.
Okay.
No. Nobody in God's green earth is worth that money. I don't. No. These guys get millions of dollars. Baseball, football.
Mm-hmm.
But if they get it, more power to them. I mean, people are paying them. It's their fault, not ours.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, see, the reason I was asking is because it is well documented that I am a huge Kirk Cousins fan. I actually live up here in Michigan, so I got to see him play a lot at Michigan State, and I think he's a good quarterback, but when they gave him that contract, I was like, that's a little too much. And now, do you think with the salary cap situation that you guys have, do you think that he'll renegotiate?
Well, I was watching a press conference today. The GM and head coach had a press conference today, and they both, they're going to say it. They want him back. Cousins said he wants to be here. I guess one thing on Cousins, the guy took a beating this year, absolute beating back there, and he never got hurt. Our line I don't know the numbers offhand, but he was the number 1 NFL quarterback in the league that was hit the most. Every time he threw it, he got crushed. Man. And the guy's strong. He's durable. So, how can he not like a guy who is just absolutely got to be sore after a game? But yet he's throwing balls to Jefferson, Thielen, KJ Osborne, tight end Hawkinson. He's got so many weapons. If he could just get like 2 seconds. But I don't know. It's totally subject to Minnesota that will not be. It's going to be 50-50. I'm a Cousins supporter. I guess I like what he did for us. The last play of the game is unfortunate against the Giants, but there should have been way many more other things should have happened before that came down. We had 4th and 1 in inches. Cousins quarterback sneak gets it, but we had a false start. A receiver dropped the ball on 3rd down. People always look at the last play of the game. It's easy. But what about the rest of the game, the mistakes we made? So I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think, I don't think, obviously, Cousins gets that bad rap of not being a, quarterback in the clutch and, not winning a big game, so to speak. But the guy's been, everywhere he's played, he's been a productive quarterback and been very good. So, you can't. It's a team game. You win, lose.
Yes.
That way, and
Agreed.
a lot of times, Kirk
yeah.
Cousins has put up, great numbers and still lost the game. I mean, but to say, oh, he's not good, or he can't clutch up in the biggest moments. I don't believe that because, he's shown that he could make every throw he makes. He makes the plays in the clutch. It's just somebody has to win, somebody has to lose, and a lot of the times, his teams just come out on the losing end of these games. But it's not because of him.
No, and I'll take it back to 1998. That was the first year of my season tickets. Vikings in Atlanta, Falcons in the NFC Championship game. I was there. And yes, Gary Anderson missed a kick, but look at Robert Griffith dropped an interception end zone. Randy Moss dropped the ball. But it all comes down to people only remember Gary Anderson missing his first kick in 2 years. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
There's many more mistakes made. I mean, I was at the Saints game against the Vikings at Superdome. I went down there. Fire thrown across his body. But look at all the fumbles we had. We should have beat the Saints easily that day. But we didn't.
Nope.
So, again, everybody remembers the Seattle Seahawks. Our kicker missed it wide left, and Seahawks knocked us out of the playoffs.
Yep.
We had many other issues before that kick. So, people, I think it's every team. You're always going to remember the last play. What about the other plays that could have helped you win?
Yeah, and that's kind of that's kind of my mindset when a lot of people they always talk about the last play of the game, and I'm always that.
Yep.
Well, what about all the other plays in between?
Yep.
You talk about defensively, you hold up for 4 quarters, and then in 3.5 quarters, in the last 5 minutes, you don't make the plays, and you end up losing the game because the defense didn't get a stop. Well,
right.
A lot of people say they'll turn around and say, well, that's the offense fault. Well, the offense, they got the lead back. Defense didn't make the play. But what about everything in between? You got to look at all those little things that add up to the end result.
Team win. It's a team game.
Yeah.
Look at the Dallas kicker. Monday night, missed 4 extra points. He's been so solid for him.
Yeah. He had only
People are harping on him.
Up
he had
to
a
that
bad
point,
night.
he missed 3 kicks all season.
Yeah.
Luckily for
Look at our
Dallas.
kicker, 61-yard field goal against the Giants.
Yep.
Record and then the next week he missed 2 against the Packers.
Yep.
So I don't know. They're human beings. They paid a lot of money, but yet they make mistakes. And I don't know. Again, you can't blame. It's easy to blame Cousins for the last pass of the game, but man, we had our defense. If they could have stopped him at least once, maybe twice, and instead of false starting on a 4th down, catching balls that were thrown to you. It's just so many aspects of a game that it's fun to dissect.
Yeah. Yep.
Long off season to think about what's going to happen next year because we got a first place schedule: 49ers, Bengals, Eagles.
Ooh, brutal
start. Yeah, brutal. we got first place schedule.
Ooh, that's going to be tough.
I think we get AFC West and NFC West, I believe. I can't remember what it is, but it's going to be tough. Chargers, Raiders, Broncos, Chiefs.
Yeah, that's going to be.
We'll see. I mean, I love football. It's just I never played a day in my life, but I just love football. I don't know. I just really into it.
Yeah, that's okay, man. You don't necessarily have to be a player to love it. So, I mean, there's many more people like you that hadn't played, but they love the game. They, students of the game. They understand the game. Just as much as somebody that did play. So, I don't ever.
Yeah, and we can't make our teams win or lose.
No, you can't.
We still got to go to work tomorrow. We still got to go to work tomorrow. Get a paycheck.
Yeah.
Some days I wish I could quit work, but
you wish you could have
after a loss,
those summer days where after a bad loss, so you could just call in and say, "Hey, man, my team lost. I need this day. I need a recuperation day." Yeah. You can't do that.
I stopped by McDonald's after the game and had a Big Mac. I felt better.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, again, I get teased at work about it. Your Vikings let you down again. I can't say they didn't, but I'm sure glad I go every week.
Yeah.
My wife and I are very faithful. I mean, we do that skull chant. It's fun. It's just fun. I mean, it's expensive to eat and drink there, so we eat before the game, so save some money. But it's just fun to be part of the fans. I mean, 66,000 screaming Sunday afternoon was so fun. My voice hurt.
Oh, I bet.
And then we watched the Giants beat us.
I've never
again, my life.
I've never been a part of a playoff atmosphere. I had season tickets for about seven years with the Bucks, and doing those 7 years was probably the worst 7 years you could possibly be a fan because they lost every year. They didn't even have a chance at a playoff, berth. But hopefully one of these days I get a chance to experience the, playoff atmosphere. I've been to Lightning games and stuff like that, but not football.
It's crazy. I mean, you have 32 teams and only so many make home games, and the Vikings got one of the home games. So, you have to appreciate it, even if they lost. But at least, I don't know, the home game that's a chance to help your team with the crowd advantage. And I thought the fans showed up as good as they've done all year. I was really proud of the fans. But again, the speculation will be this offseason is really going to be fun to watch. There's so many questions about who will take a pay, who will restructure a contract, who will leave. I read today Danielle Hunter potential trade, which I don't know. I wouldn't be very happy about that, but again, they're so strapped with money.
Yeah,
I don't like that 3-4 defense. I don't like the 3-4 defense. So just either with Donatel, I don't know. I just didn't seem to work. Obviously, it didn't work.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I think, the 3-4 defense works, but you got to have the right type of players to run that defense. And if you don't, you get killed.
Yes.
And, a lot of teams, you look at Pittsburgh, you look at the Ravens. Those are two teams that when they run that 3-4, they got the horses everywhere to run that 3-4 the way that it should be run. But not everybody, for it being a copycat league, don't nobody, they don't look to see what they're doing to, what type of players they drafting to bring into that mold of that defense. But, for the Bucks, Buccaneers run a 4-3 Tampa, 2, style of defense forever. That's all we've run. We've never been a 3-4 franchise. And then, the last, 3 years under Todd Bowles, we're running this 3-4, and I just feel like it's a lot of people that's just, playing out of position. It doesn't work that way. You can't make guys play out of position in the 3-4 because in the 3-4 defense, it's about physicality. And there's a different type of football player that you need in the 3-4 opposed to a 4-3 because all the responsibilities on the front seven aspect of it changes. Even from a cornerback standpoint, you bring guys to blitz, you got to make sure those guys know how to get there, and they got to be able to tackle well. If you don't have those guys, you're not running. You can run the 3-4, but you won't be good at it because It's just it's a dog type of defense. You got to have dogs on the defensive side to run that 3-4 the way that it need to be run.
I agree 100%. Like Danielle Hunter, even though he got 11 sacks, he just seemed like not the same Hunter. Him and Desarius Smith, standing up on the line of scrimmage. Hunter to me is more of a hand in the trenches and just go.
Yeah.
Eric Kendricks I didn't think he had a very good year this year. Harrison Smith, you didn't hear their names much.
Nope.
The normal guys, the Kendricks, the Harrisons. I mean, I hardly saw Harrison blitz once this year. So again, the system. They're saying Donatel didn't have the players to run the system. Well, then why do you even try it?
Exactly. If you don't have the players to run the system, then you should have just stayed status quo with what those guys do well and let them go hunt.
Yeah.
Instead of changing the system and you expecting the same production from these guys and they're all playing, out of position. It doesn't make any sense.
Looks unorganized out there.
Yep. And I've had a lot of questions with my team about that same thing in that 3-4. I don't think we have the right dudes. And we'll see what they do, but both our teams are sitting home, they're booking vacations. But we still get to watch great football the rest of the playoffs. So I think the field that is left on the AFC and the NFC, I think is going to bring some really good games the next couple weeks, regardless of who wins.
I'm pulling for Bills and 49ers.
Bills and 49ers. Okay.
For the Super Bowl. I mean, AFC's they're loaded. Chiefs, Bengals, and that's me tough. The Bills. Those three are really good. I mean, Dallas and Philadelphia and 49ers. I think the 49ers can beat Philadelphia.
I think
if it comes down to that one.
I think they can too. I think the 49ers, they're the last of the old school football teams we have left in the league. And they seem to still, they're winning the old school way. Physical, running the ball, play defense. They can throw the ball. Don't get it wrong now. If they need to, they can throw it. But they know what they do best, and they do it better than anybody else. And I still love the fact that they still use a fullback in the running game. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know when the lead blocker became obsolete in the running game, but I love a team that can line up two in the backfield with that fullback and just come get us. You know what we gonna do? Try to stop us. That's what that says.
We'll take you back to training camp in August. The San Francisco 49ers came here to train with us 2 days. So I got to watch the 49ers and Vikings go at it. Man, the 49ers, even in practice, they were rough. Very physical team.
Yeah.
You saw right from the start. So they got a good team there.
I like what they've done in San Francisco, and no matter who's at quarterback, they stick to what they do best, and that's the sign of a organization that's got their foot in, and they know what they do, and you're not stopping them. We do what we do. We coming, try to stop us. We used to be that way under Tony Dungy. You know what we're gonna do, try to stop us. And we won a lot of games. Never got to the big game under Tony Dungy, but we won a lot of games playing that style of football.
You had a Viking quarterback win the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah,
Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson, baby.
Yeah, sure. I was a big fan of him in Minnesota.
Yeah.
As well as Tony Dungy. Dungy was here on our staff.
Yep.
And so was Mike Tomlin from the Steelers. He was here.
Yep. So
we lost some good coaches.
So you can say that you guys had a part in the Buccaneers' success back then.
It's all good. All good. I just football 365. There's never an off season.
Yep. Well, man, hey, I appreciate you calling in, man. Listen, don't be a stranger, man. It's always good to have somebody coming on the show, talking about.
I'm about an hour hour south of the Twin Cities where I'm at.
Okay. Yeah, man. Just
Down.
we here every week, man. So,
Okay.
Don't be a stranger, brother. Appreciate you calling.
Yeah, thanks for your time. Have a good night.
All
Have a
right.
good week.
You too, man.
Bye-bye.
Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Todd Walking Sticks. You know, that name sounded familiar. I think me and him, a long time ago, me and him spoke a long time ago. This is some years back. But I remembered him as soon as he said Minnesota Vikings because, you know, that's who he's a fan of. But appreciate him calling in. It's been a minute. Didn't recognize the number, but that is always good.